How's it going, everybody? Too Spooky here, and welcome back to the Nightmare Before Christmas. In today's video, we are going to be counting down 5 facts about the zombies from Thriller Bark in One Piece. This video was suggested by Roranoazoro and Usopp. Very fitting. So thank you both for the suggestion, and I hope you enjoy because this one is going out to you. Before we jump in, I just wanted to say that I dug up some pretty interesting stuff for this one today, so make sure to stay until the end. And for a limited time only, you can pick up the first piece of Too Spooky merch, which is a nifty Christmas sweater. It will only be available till January 1st, and you can find a link to it down below. Anyway, without further ado, let's jump in. Number 1. I think it's fair to assume that pretty much all of us know that these zombies were created from the shadows extracted by Gecko Moria's devil fruit, the Kage Kage no Mi, and Dr. Hogbag's interesting surgery and taxidermy skills. But how these zombies are ranked after their creation is a different story. After every zombie is completed, they are given a number. From what we've seen, these numbers rank anywhere from 0 to 900, although there were likely over 1,000 zombies created in total. The number given to a zombie is not a representation of what order the zombies were created in, but rather how powerful or skilled that zombie is. So let's say a zombie is created and it just happens to be the 100th zombie created to date. It will not be given the number 100, but instead given a number representing its abilities. Zombies can also be specifically crafted to fall under certain categories, because a zombie's strength is determined both by the shadow taken from an individual and the corpse that the shadow is going into. So if the shadow is from a very strong person, and the corpse is also from a strong person, it will create a much stronger zombie. So what are these different power rankings? Zombies ranked with the numbers 0 to 199 are known as wild zombies, which are essentially zombies created out of various animal parts to resemble Perona's personal collection of stuffed animals, and these zombies also fell under Perona's command. Zombies ranked with numbers 200 to 399 are known as surprise zombies, which are essentially zombies crafted out of various animals, people, and household decorations, like picture frames or rugs. The purpose of these zombies were to attack enemies by surprise, by posing as these household objects until they inevitably strike, and these zombies were generally under the command of Dr. Hogbag. Zombies ranked with numbers 400 to 799 are known as zombie soldiers, which are exactly what they sound like. Just a bunch of zombies that are also soldiers or grunts for Moria's crew. They are generally made up of just intact or slightly altered corpses that are under the command of Absalom. Zombies ranked with numbers 800 to 899 are known as general zombies, which are the much more powerful version of a zombie soldier, and made up of many different looking corpses. However, they are not quite the strongest of the zombies. These generals are also under the command of Absalom. Zombies ranked with the number 900 or potentially higher are known as special zombies. There was only one special zombie made, which was a fusion between Oars' corpse and Luffy's shadow. This was by far the strongest zombie created, and Gecko Moria planned on creating many more special zombies by taking the shadows of very powerful people and placing them in very powerful corpses. But due to his defeat, the only special zombie we got to see was this one. Now, a little interesting thing about these numbers is that in the manga, there were no duplicate numbers present on any of the zombies that were shown with numbers. But in the anime, there were multiple occurrences where zombies would share numbers. Some zombies would even have their numbers changed randomly to something else. Some zombies would have their numbers completely disappear, and some zombies weren't given the same number as their manga counterparts. Number 2. Next up, we have a bit of a plot hole surrounding the zombies and the Kage Kage no Mi for that matter. It was established that individuals who had their shadows taken cannot stand in direct sunlight, or they will disintegrate to ashes. Well, at Marineford we witnessed Moria stealing multiple Marines' shadows and placing them into Marine corpses to create a zombie army on the spot. And there's a couple things wrong with that. First off, these Marines should start disintegrating immediately, because they are in direct fucking sunlight, but for some reason they don't. And secondly, half of the zombies that Moria created, mind you out of fresh Marine corpses, look exactly like the zombies from Thriller Bark. So what? So what? So what?
So fucking what?
These zombies are bandaged, some have extra appendages, and some are even animals. Yeah? So what?
So what, you boiled cunt?
The whole reason that Moria was able to have specifically crafted zombies in the first place was because of Dr. Hogback's surgical skills. And although we do know that Hogback left Thriller Bark with Moria, there is not a chance in hell that Hogback was on the battlefield quickly stitching zombies together out of fresh Marine corpses for Moria. There's no fucking way. These zombies were created by Moria alone, which leads us to believe that Dr. Hogback wasn't needed all along, because Moria could just throw these abominations together by chucking a fucking shadow into a corpse. I know this is One Piece, and I'm just looking into it a little too much here. I mean, just look at the milk, for example. But I'm just saying, it doesn't make any fucking sense. Number 3. Speaking of zombies and Marines, there was once an SBS question involving the Marine and former knight, T-Bone. The fan asked Oda if T-Bone was a zombie, or a skeleton man like Brook, due to his very lanky and deathly appearance. To which Oda responded that T-Bone isn't a zombie, but if he were a zombie, he would likely be a general zombie, simply because T-Bone isn't a wild zombie or surprise zombie due to appearance, and he couldn't be a soldier zombie because soldier zombies don't carry weapons, therefore making him a general zombie by default. If he were to be turned into a zombie, that is.
You know, Too Spooky, you use this meme a bit too much. It's getting pretty stale. You should probably put it to rest already.
Number 4. You guys remember Perona's servant Kumashi? May he rest in peace. Anyway, in chapter 468, there is one panel in Hogback's flashback that shows a younger Perona holding Kumashi as a stuffed animal, which led a fan to ask Oda in an SBS if that stuffed animal was in fact Kumashi, to which Oda explained that the wild zombies, including Kumashi, were just modeled after her stuffed animals, so that stuffed animal was simply the original Kumashi, or what Kumashi was modeled after. Perona also had a pet bear when she was young that was named Kume, which did resemble Kumashi quite a bit. So Kume could have been another inspiration for Perona to have Kumashi created. We also know that Perona cared very deeply for Kumashi, even if she was a bit rude to him at times. She was not only torn up about his death, but she also returned to Thriller Bark after the time skip to retrieve, or at the very least visit, his corpse. And in the anime, Perona dressed Zoro up as Kumashi to make his death easier for herself. So his character held a lot more interesting significance than we originally thought. And the moment that you've all been waiting for, but not for very long, number 5. This final fact has to be one of the most interesting things I've ever learned about One Piece throughout my research these past few years. And if you haven't found out about this one yourself already, get ready to be blown away. It centers around Ryuma, who was probably the most popular zombie aside from maybe Oars. Ryuma may have been a zombie when we met him, but before that he was a legendary samurai, even referred to as the greatest hero of Wano country. One of his greatest known accomplishments was cutting off the head of a dragon in mid-air, a story that is still told to this very day. At some point before the events of Thriller Bark, Hogback raided his grave to steal both his body and his legendary sword Shusui, to which he was soon after made into the zombie we knew. Now let's back up a couple years, all the way back to 1994. In 1994, Oda released a one-shot titled Monsters, which centered around a samurai who was also named Ryuma, venturing into a town on the brink of death from starvation. We then learn a little bit about Ryuma through his interactions with the townspeople. He's in search of the greatest swordsman in the world, who is known as the King. He's a bit cocky, but has the true soul of a warrior, and he's incredibly strong too. I highly suggest you guys give it a read yourselves. But to sum things up, there's this horn that can control dragons, these two dickbags in cahoots with each other summon the dragon to the town, making it seem as though it's Ryuma's fault that the dragon is coming. The townspeople flee the town so that they aren't killed by the dragon. The two douche canoes then go about looting the town, and plan to fake their own deaths and flee the town to get away with all the cash. Ryuma wasn't having any of that, so he kills both of the men as the dragon approaches. Ryuma then jumps into the air and decapitates the dragon while still in midair, saving the town and all of its people. We then learn from one of the townspeople that even though Ryuma doesn't know it himself, all of the people he saved in the past have given him the nickname, the King, which means that Ryuma himself is the greatest swordsman in the world, and he doesn't even realize it. The reason I bring up this one-shot is because it was confirmed by Oda himself that the Ryuma from Monsters is the same exact Ryuma from One Piece. So all the events that happened in Monsters back in 1994 is canon in the One Piece world, which means that Ryuma was at one point the greatest swordsman in the world. That's honestly just the coolest thing to me. He may have just been a decomposing shell of his former self at the time, but Zoro went up against the greatest swordsman in the world from a different time period, and he was able to defeat him. Then later on, in homage to Ryuma, Zoro decapitated a dragon the same exact way Ryuma did generations earlier. The similarities in Zoro and Ryuma also leads many people to believe that Ryuma and Zoro could also somehow be related. Well, that's a question to be answered in another video some other day. Anyways guys, that is 5 facts about the zombies from Thriller Bark. Hopefully you guys learned something new. I know I certainly did, and hopefully you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to drop a like. And also make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for more One Piece related videos in the future. Be sure to comment down below what you want those future One Piece videos to be about. And follow me on Twitter to keep up to date with the channel. Also make sure you don't miss the next video in The Nightmare Before Christmas, a celebration for 200,000 subscribers because we've still got 5 more videos to go. You know, Too Spooky, you didn't even feature us in yesterday's video. What's the deal with that? Oh, I'm sorry, I just usually don't put you guys in videos that aren't fact related because I can't really find a way to fit you guys in. My bad.
Yeah, I've been meaning to ask. Ever since the week of 25s, every other week of or celebration week, you've brought on a new addition to the channel. Are we getting one of those this week as well?
You're right, I have. Well, the answer is not this time. I'll probably start sending out applications for the next week after this one is over so I can give some interviews in the meantime.
Oh, what a relief. Do me a favor and don't hire anyone else. I'm already knee-deep in shit dealing with these two all day.
I'll keep that in mind, Bane, but chances are you're probably getting a new crewmate at some point.
Fuck.
Anyways guys, if you can't get enough Too Spooky content, well click here for an explanation of Logia and Paramecia devil fruits that are very similar to each other, 10 facts about Brook from One Piece, or click here for the previous and next video in The Nightmare Before Christmas. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all soon with a new video.